Oh hey guys, yeah, I just got myself a Project Power pill. I'm excited to see what superpower I get. I can't wait. I'm probably gonna be Superman, right? It's gonna be awesome. Well, I don't feel any different, but oh, I'm invisible. Okay, this is gonna be a tough review to record then, huh? Oh, great. What's going on, you guys? James here with another real review, and today we're diving right into Netflix's Project Power, starring Dominique Fishback, Jamie Foxx, and Joseph Gordon-Levitt. This has been one that's been on my radar since I saw the trailer last month. I'm incredibly excited for the movie. I went in with high hopes because this is such a different take on the superhero genre, but I will have to tell you guys, I'm a little disappointed, and I'll let you know why. But before we get into that, guys, if it's your first time here at the channel, welcome to Real James, where I talk about movies and TV just like this. So if you like all that, go ahead and hit the big red button below and subscribe to the channel. Turn on that bell so you stay up to date with anything new, and don't forget to smash that like button and comment down below, and let me know what you think of Project Power when you see it this weekend. I'm curious to see if you guys feel the same way I do or not. Alrighty, so let's get right into the film. It's directed by Joost and Ariel Schulman. They both paired up to direct Nerve and Paranormal Activity 3, totally two separate films, but I was interested to see what they could bring to the table in a superhero movie. Now, if you're not familiar with the premise of this movie, it basically deals with three main characters, Art, Frank, and Robin. All three of them are brought together for one cause, stopping Project Power. This pill that when you take it, it gives you a random superpower for 5 minutes. An evil corporation kind of wants to just destroy New Orleans and use them as like a field testing site, and then eventually spread this across the world. So it's your classic case of evil overlords want to try to take over the world, and it's up to three unassuming heroes to save the day. So it is definitely one of those films that sounds generic, but there are some things that kind of separate it from the bunch, and let's start with the premise. It's so unique. You know, I've never seen a superhero movie like this before, and in the age of the MCU films and the DC universe that we get to see almost every other month, honestly, this is different. You know, this shows kind of a dystopian setting for a superhero movie as well, because in New Orleans, this city has been ravaged by this Project Power pill for a while now, and you can tell there are dealers on the streets, and people are really getting harmed by this. So I really do feel like this is playing into the, what would you do if you really had superpowers? Would it destroy you or would it help you? Because I find it interesting that even some of the good guys take this pill in order to level the playing field. However, they get addicted too. So there are some undertones here that kind of separate it from your generic superhero movie. And of course, the main draw here really is going to be your three leads. I'm so happy to see Joseph Gordon-Levitt in more than just one movie a year now. Jamie Foxx is a legend. His range is incredible, but we'll get into that in a little bit. The thing is, the most impressive character, the most impressive actor actually in this film, is Dominique Fishback as Robin. Now, Robin is a young woman in New Orleans who's trying to make ends meet to help save up money to pay for her mother's diabetic procedures. Now, she needs a lot of help in terms of medical bills being paid for and just her daily medication. So Robin has to deal Project Power pills. She links up with Joseph Gordon-Levitt for most of the movie in the first half, and in the second half you find her alongside Jamie Foxx. But for the most part, the reason I loved her so much is because she was my connection as an audience member to the story. You know, you notice that she's not taking this pill, so she's not trying to be a superhero, she just wants to save her mother's life. And that's why I think it makes her so special, because she's just so darn relatable. Also, she can rap really well. I mean, her flow is immaculate. I loved it in this movie. Now, that doesn't mean Jamie Foxx is a bad actor in this film. I think that he does fine in his role, but it really is the writing that sometimes puts him in a shell and he wants to break out of it. And while there are some moments you can tell his acting is on full display, it seems to me that didn't happen enough, and that's probably one of the reasons why I didn't really care for his role as much, is because it started to feel a little cut, copy, paste towards the end. And before we get into the negatives, one more thing. The visual effects in this movie are just outstanding sometimes. I mean, save for one moment towards the end, I mean, that was really bad, but everything else was pretty darn cool. I mean, even in the beginning of the film, when we see one drug dealer take multiple Project Power pills and he turns into like a human torch. No copyright, I promise, Marvel, but it's just him catching fire, but it's everything that happens as the inside of your body starts to change when you take this pill. That's what I found really cool, because I wanted to see how it would affect other people, even though I of course didn't want them to take it, but when they did, I was curious what happens next. So it really sparked my interest, and those visual effects really aided the film. Now let's get into what didn't work with Project Power and made this a disappointing film for me. I mean, again, I was so excited, but it's the script. This screenplay held this film back a ton. And it kind of gets worse as the film goes on. One of the things I highlighted was, man, it just makes things up so often. A lot of the time we don't understand necessarily how our characters got to a certain place, and then they explain it through the dialogue, so it's a lot of expositional dialogue. And also, how in the world does Robin, for example, know how to stitch up Jamie Foxx's character just because her mother's a vet? And I mean, we're just told the whole way through that Robin doesn't like studying, so does she know how to stitch someone up because she watched her mom do it? Does she actually work at the vet on the weekends? We just don't know. So this script just forces us basically to, I don't know, accept everything they're making up on the spot. So it's filling in little gaps as they go, and that kind of felt weird to me. And then there's the dialogue. Listen guys, in a superhero film, you're not coming for the dialogue, you're coming for the action, right? But the best superhero movies can give you meaningful lines of dialogue, and here, oh my goodness gracious, it's cheesy. Oh, it's so darn just unbelievable in the worst way. And heck, I mean, the actors didn't even believe the dialogue half the time either. You can tell they were trying to say it through their teeth. They just didn't dive into it, and it really made this entire movie a little bit less authentic. And the most concerning thing of all is that the screenplay writer here is Madison Tomlin, who's writing the script for the Batman alongside Matt Reeves. Oh boy. That's concerning. And another huge issue that this movie had was balancing screen time for all three of our main actors. Fortunately, Joseph Gordon-Levitt gets the short end of the stick here. Again, he plays this New Orleans police officer, and while he's pretty darn decent in his role for the most part, I found him getting these weird moments where he's trying to be funny. So he's trying to provide levity for the movie, but he does it in a very unnatural way. So the film tries to prop him up as a straight man in the beginning, and then gives him some lines of humor, and then it keeps going back and forth. So I'm thinking, like, can you give him one clear direction? Like, Joseph Gordon-Levitt also has this accent, and it's supposed to have the southern twang to it, but it was so darn distracting. So his character was honestly mishandled, and I feel bad because I like Joseph Gordon-Levitt a ton. And then by the end of the movie, I asked myself, what's the tone of this film? Because in the beginning, it wanted to be serious. Then it started to get kind of zany, and then back to serious again, a little funny, and then dramatic. So I thought to myself, okay, this movie's trying to do so much, and it just can't do one thing really well. And that's what really held back Project Power towards the end. And then possibly the most head-scratching thing about Project Power is the fact that it reverses its own logic. In the first 5 minutes of the movie, Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character establishes that if you take a pill, it'll give you a superpower for 5 minutes, but it's totally random. You could be Superman, or you could be super camp. And then in the middle of the movie, Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character seemingly takes these pills knowing which power it's going to produce. Jamie Foxx at the end too. So I don't understand necessarily what's going on here. So now these characters know which pill produces which power? Or does the movie just conveniently ignore that? So listen, I can excuse some errors along, this weird storyline, but I can't excuse this, guys, because that's just... I'm bought in to the logic of this movie, so at least reward me for buying into it, but then you reverse it, so what's the point of the first half of the movie? And one more thing, guys. The villains here, I get it. They're cheesy. That's fine. But it was just not the good kind of cheesy. So overall, you guys, I'm really disappointed. I came into Project Power excited. I was anticipating this movie since I saw the trailer, and I walked away thinking this is not memorable. A lot of the issues in this film came from the really clunky direction and the pretty bad writing, honestly. And I can't tell you where Project Power was heading. What, did it want to be a superhero movie that was taken seriously? Or one that was zany? One that wanted to be funny? I can't explain to you guys why this movie had tone issues when the trailer said it all. This needed to be serious. And our big three here really is okay, with Dominique Fishback being the standout. Man, she is a gem, and I want to see her in much more. But when you pair her alongside Jamie Foxx and Joseph Gordon-Levitt, the end product here needs to be much better. But unfortunately, you guys, this became a tough pill to swallow towards the end, and then I was left wondering, how did a project like this just become so meh? One thing's for certain though, I'm looking forward to seeing what Dominique Fishback can do next, man. Like I said, she did no wrong in this film. So guys, hey, that's my take on Project Power, a movie that I wish was so much better. But you let me know in the comments below what you thought of Project Power. Did you like it more than me, or are you sort of on the same page? Now don't forget to go ahead and hit that big red button below, and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I got some more content dropping this week, like my Legend of Korra Season 2 reaction. I am starting it tomorrow. So episode 1's going to drop on the channel. I'm excited for that. And hopefully next week we'll get some new movies and TV shows as well. Alrighty, you guys. Well, hey, that's all the time I have. I'm going to go find out what happened to the pill, and I don't know why it made me invisible. We'll see if I can, get it right the second time. Again, thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll catch you at the next screening.